بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. As we know that before we start with our new class, we would like to just a quick recap and also to connect what we're going to be saying with what has been said before. And also some benefits to be added to what we have said before. Jazakumullah khair. When the king of Egypt had heard, and he was a disbeliever, remember, the interpretation of the dream from Yusuf alayhi salam, he was delighted with it, so he wanted to hear it for himself, and that is why we say here we have a benefit, which is that he wanted to hear it directly, and that is, we call it in the hadith terminology, ulu isnad, it means it's higher in the chain. It could be that he had sent the waiter himself or somebody else, so he said to him, go back to your king and ask him, that is, ask him, ما فعل النسوة, the women, what did they did? Basically here there's some benefits to be added to what we have said before. The Yusuf Ali is saying to them that you are busy regarding the interpretation of the dream, but I'm busy regarding my innocence. And that is why when he was having his shirt torn off and she was behind him trying to seduce him, he said, he said, she's the one seduced me, not. When they found that the master, that is the husband of hers, that was at the door, Yusuf alayhi salam, straight away he had exonerated himself when she said and accused him of that he wanted to seduce her. He said, no, I did not do so, she did do so. So you are basically busy with that and I'm busy with this. But listen here what he said. He said to go and ask the king to tell the king to ask what the women had done regarding cutting their hands or injuring their hands. Here we could see that it looks like the story of cutting of the hands of those women is to be a story which is being spread around. I mean, lots of people knows about it. So that is why he said it. And also the women who had been brought by the wife of Al-Aziz to witness the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam, whom they accused her of that she is following him and she wants him, though that he is just a slave. And those women are not just any women. I mean, she was not going to invite beggars. She's going to invite, president wives, other ministers' wives. So those women, they were mighty women, they're known. And Yusuf alayhi salam, when he sent that, or he told that person who came to ask him to come to the king, said, go to the king first and ask him about what the women had done. He didn't say what the wife of Al-Aziz had said. And that's a very, very an important point. I mean, the women, it's not the cause from them that he was entering the prison. It started with that wife of Al-Aziz. She wanted him. So basically, he would have said, and any person would say, you should ask the wife of Al-Aziz. She's the one that she seduced me. She's the one she was trying to commit the fahisha with me. He didn't say that. And that's a very important point because of a number of issues. Number one is that he didn't want a scandal. Number two, he is keeping the favors of not just Al-Aziz and she herself. He was looked after, God knows how many years, a lot of years. He had been having money spent upon him from them, food being fed from them, shelter from them. So but it's a favor that they have an upper hand on him. So you have to basically honor that. And that is why, so he didn't want to scandal. And also number three, Al-Aziz was so good to him. And he's the one who had said to his wife, that keep him. He might be a person that we will later on, get rich through him or whatever. He's the one who asked his wife to keep him. So he kept the favors for Al-Aziz and he didn't want to scratch the honor of Al-Aziz by, making a scandal of his wife. Okay, so you don't want to say that. That's a very important issue. And that is why it leads us later on to say why she said, the wife of Al-Aziz, أَنِّي لَمْ أَخُنْهُ بِالْغَيْبِ. We're going to explain that inshallah in a minute. So he did not forget Yusuf alayhi salam, what these people had done to him in regard to favors. That's why he kept that, and he did not expose the wife of Al-Aziz. So when the king now called the women, those women who are, as I said, senior women, they're not leading women, they confess that he is innocent. So now the wife of Al-Aziz, upon knowing that Yusuf did not expose her, Yusuf alayhi salam did not say that she's the one and all of that, he did not say that. So she basically confessed straight away, because she could see that Yusuf has now gone even greater in her heart. She loves him, she still loves him. Okay? But now he's gotten greater in her heart. She loves him because of not just his beauty outside, but his beauty as well inside. Even though that she had lied against him and she had imprisoned him for a long time, okay, all this long time. So she said, I would say openly and clearly in front of the king, in front of the women, الآن حصحص الحق. Now the haqq came out. So just like she's saying, it's enough for me to lie, enough for me to make dhulm and oppression. I am the one. أنا راودته عن نفسي. ذلك ليعلم أني لم أخن بالغيب. Remember that the last time we said that it's one of the two imputation. Either ذلك ليعلم أني لم أخن بالغيب. That is Yusuf alayhi salam said it, or we said that is the wife of Al-Aziz said it. We say it is the wife of Al-Aziz, not Yusuf alayhi salam, said it for a number of reasons. Number one, that the wife of Al-Aziz, she said, either she meant that I did not betray my husband, I was only seduction. Remember, this is what Ibn Kathir had said. We could add as well to this, that is, she could have said that is why, that is, I want to make sure that Yusuf, she knows I did not betray him in his absence, because Yusuf, I said, doesn't know what happened now. He doesn't know that she confessed. She confessed in front of the king. Yusuf is still in the prison. So she said that basically I want Yusuf to know that I did not betray him in his absence, by I'm declaring that I am the one who done everything and he's innocent. Okay? So that's why we say it's not Yusuf who said these words, ذَلِكَ لِيَعْلَمَ, because we said Yusuf alayhi salam, some of the interpretations say, the scholars they said, like Imam al-Tabari, he says that it is that he said, Yusuf alayhi salam, that is so that the Aziz does not, he would know that I did not betray him. We say that this is weak for a number of issues, because the wordings of the ayat is linked to each other. She said, الآن حصحص الحق أنا راودته عن نفسي. That is, now haqq is established. I am the one who had seduced him. And then after that she said, ذلك ليعلم أني لم أخنه وأن النفس أمارة بالسوء. That also the soul is, the person's soul is always enjoining the person to do evil. So all of that is connected. And Yusuf alayhi salam also, he was not present to say these words. Yusuf alayhi salam, he is much purer in his heart and much more chaste to say that وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي, I am not going to exonerate myself. No, cannot be there. And also, how can he exonerate himself in front of Al-Aziz? And Al-Aziz, he knows already that he's innocent, because he knows. He said to her, you remember, استغفري لذنبك, seek forgiveness for your sins, to his wife. So he knew already the innocence of Yusuf alayhi salam. So there's no point of saying that Yusuf alayhi salam said, just to show my master, I did not betray him in his absence. That doesn't make sense. Okay? And of course, and lastly and finally, Imra'atul Aziz, she herself enjoyed her to do evil number of times. She's the one seduced him. She's the one she locked him up. She's the one who lied against him. She is the one who had gained help from the other women to put him in prison because of that. طيب. After this, if it was said, and somebody asked me the last question, if you remember, how can she, if she's a disbeliever, how can she say إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي إِنَّ رَبِّي غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, that إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ, verily the soul commands you to do evil, except for what Allah exempts or Allah has mercy upon. For verily Allah is the most forgiving. How can she say that she's a kafir? And I believe I answered that question, and I wanted as well to clarify it and add more points as I say that yes, they are kuffar, but they are believing in the oneness of Allah in terms of Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. And that is why Abdullah, the father of the Prophet, is Abdullah. So they are kuffar, but they know God. They know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the wife of Al-Aziz himself, he said to his wife, Istaghfiri li dhanbik, wastaghfiri, and seek forgiveness for your sin. So they are kuffar, but they know Allah. Also, another point to add, in the eyes of the community, at that time, always the fornication is something which is very bad, evil, regardless of the religion. And that is why when the Prophet ﷺ, he opened and gained Mecca, regained Mecca, and he accepted the pledge from those who had entered Islam, Prophet ﷺ gave the pledge. One of them is Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan. And the pledge is that they will not commit shirk and they will not commit zina, fornication. So Hind, she said, subhanallah, does the free woman commit zina? So for them zina is absolutely out of the question, even though they are kuffar. Zina, fornication. So the Arab women are respected and honored and chaste. So how come she can't imagine? So you're asking us something that is already, it's part of our system. That is, we don't make it zina. Free women at that time, they're very chaste. Right. Also, somebody asked me a question regarding Yusuf alayhi salam, when the Prophet said, if the person who come to me in the prison would have come out. He asked me, if you remember this, does that mean that the Prophet ﷺ is not better than Yusuf alayhi salam, or is better than the Prophet? I think that was the last question, which I have answered him as well. The scholars add also to this answer for this. They say that Prophet ﷺ, he said it out of his humbleness. So the Prophet of Allah, he said that out of his humbleness. And the Prophet of Allah is always better. Okay? So that is why. And also, Yusuf alayhi salam did not want to come out for reasons. He doesn't want to come out until his innocence is shown. And everybody knows his innocence. So he was afraid that if he comes out, and then later on, the king changes his mind. And also, if he came out without his innocence being shown, people, what are they going to think? They're going to think, oh, he came out because he had given correct interpretation for the king of the dream. So he wanted the people to know why he came out. It's not because he gave the interpretation of the dream, it's because of that he was innocent. And when this happens, also his, you could say, personality, as a person and a trustworthy, it will be sort of much better and much more respected in the hearts of those people, and that will make it more acceptable for them to accept the da'wah of Islam. When the person who is calling to the deen is a person who's a thief, nobody will listen to him. Or a person who is a fornicator, nobody will listen to him. So now the people, they thought that he's a fornicator or tried to fornicate. But now they know that all of that, all these years had been locked up for no reason, and he was madhloom. He will be in the eyes of the people so high. So whatever he says, they will accept it. And as I said, always the prophets always been chosen to be from the best. Though nobody will be chosen, and Allah will not choose a prophet to be like, for example, he had a history of, or a background of burglary or fornication. All the prophets are to be from the beginning to the end, that is to be free and chaste from all major defects and sins. Yusuf alayhi salam also knows that the aqib is al-muttaqin. That's why he said, go back, I'm not going to come back and tell the king until he asks about the women. He knows Allah is going to help him one day or another. He knows that the pious people, the end is for them. The destiny is theirs. So he's got yaqeen, which is we call, his heart is full, alhamdulillah, of yaqeen. طيب. فلما كلمه فَلَمَّا كَلَّمُوا when Yusuf came out of the prison, and the king had spoken to him, and I said, there's a narration as well, or interpretation, Yusuf spoke to him, and it's a correct interpretation, is the king spoke to him, okay? The king now, he believes Yusuf is a very righteous person, because of a number of issues. Number one, his knowledge. Knowledge, not just an interpretation of his dream, but the interpretation of the dream of the waiter and his chef. And it was true. So when he knew that, he's got knowledge. And also because of his patience of Yusuf, and his steadfast also, he was being given the opportunity to come out of the prison, yet he refused. Okay, all of that made him to be, in the eyes of the king, so respected. Also because of his good conduct and good manners, because he said to the person to go to the king and ask, "Ma balu niswa?" He did not mention the wife of Al-Aziz. He kept her chaste, or kept her reputation. And because also his chaste himself, look, the king, he knew that this woman and the wife of Al-Aziz, all of them wanted him. And then not only that, they threatened him with the prison, yet that did not shake him, did not make him to go and commit the fornication. So that is why, as I said, in the eyes of the king, he became very high. Also, the waiter and the person, the waiter, and when he came to the king, he told him about Yusuf and how his manners was in the prison. And finally, because he was imprisoned for no reason, and he was injustice, that is why the king treated him to be an honorable person. Then he says, "Ij'alni ala khaza'in al-ard." Make me to be the one who is in charge of the treasury. Inni hafidun alim. Verily, hafid and alim. Hafid means person is trustworthy, will keep, and alim, and knowledgeable. Now he did not say, "Inni wasimun jameel." I am because I'm beautiful. Make me to be the treasurer. Because his beauty actually is the one who put him in trouble in the first place. It's actually his knowledge is the one had made him to, or saved him, and gave him the coming out of the prison. His knowledge and his taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who had saved him from the prison. After this, alhamdulillah, we come to that is Yusuf alayhi salam. Now he is the minister of the budget, so his brothers are going to come, and he is going to know them, and they will not know him. So, which page is we are on?
Page 272.
Okay, page please, 272, and you may start.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tonight is 16th of Safar 1441. We're starting the sub-chapter under the story of Yusuf al-Salam, Yusuf's brothers in Egypt. Translation of the verse from Surah Yusuf 58.
Let me just, I'll do the Quran and you translate, okay? وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ يُوسُفَ فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَعَرَفَهُمْ وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ.
And the brothers of Yusuf came and entered before him, and he recognized them, but they knew him not.
Okay. Can you leave the verses after that, go to the translation.
When the famine started biting people, Yusuf's brothers, seeking for food, made their journey to Egypt. Yusuf at that time was already the ruler of the land of Egypt. When they entered in the presence of Yusuf, he recognized them, but they could not recognize him. The reason was that they never expected, even in their wild dream, that Yusuf was going to be a ruler and a man of high position.
Right. We're going to add to that lots of points. How can all of those brothers did not know Yusuf, yet Yusuf knew them? He says, because it did not cross their mind, okay, that Yusuf is the king. Well, number of issues. Number one, how many years, if we count how many years Yusuf alayhi salam left them, it's about 20 years. 20 years is a long time. Number two, when the person leaves when he's a kid, his complexion will change a lot. It's different from a person when he leaves about 18 years old, even about 20 years old. It's just, you could look at his face, it's still the same almost. But when he's a kid, he changes a lot, and that is why your passport, the English passport, for the kids is only 5 years. Why? Because the picture has to be changed, because your figure will be changed. So Yusuf alayhi salam had changed completely. Number three, or whatever, number four, that is, the people, when they come to the presence of a minister or a king, like he's a king, he's actually the owner now of the budget, the treasury, they will not look into his eyes. They will look why? Yeah, he's the one who's looking at them. So they're not really having a very sort of clear look at his face. And that's why they didn't recognize him. Also, he's on his own. Where there are many. There are 10. So these 10, if he doesn't recognize one, he will recognize what? The other. He would recognize the other, lots of them. So he's got more of a proportion in knowing them than them knowing him. So that's another reason as well. Lots of reasons the scholars mentioned, and also one of the great reasons is that the Yusuf alayhi salam, he expected them to come, yet they didn't expect him to be a king or to be in leadership. He was expecting them to come because of the famine. Those people are going to come. Okay, so that is as well why he was expecting them. Also from the reasons that the language, as soon as he heard the accent of theirs, he knew them, where he was speaking a different accent. They didn't recognize him. They didn't know him because of the language. Remember that he's now being raised in a different place, different accent, different language. So the accent is different. So he knew them because he had heard the accent from before, and he remembers that. Well, they didn't know him. And you get another point as well. Allah told him. Allah revealed to him that they are his brothers because he's a prophet, remember. Either he's in his prophethood in the prison or before that, but he's a prophet. So the Prophet ﷺ get revelation. So Allah told him that these are your brothers. So because of those reasons, he knew them and didn't expect this person who was a child, who threw him in the well, almost died or got lost or whatever he is going to be like that. Never ever crosses their mind. Even if somebody told them, this is Yusuf, I don't think so, you're really... Even if somebody told them this is Yusuf, they would doubt his words because he cannot be Yusuf. He's sure, it cannot be. And we left him in the well, he's going to be like the king. So that's all of that because of those reasons. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. They did not recognize him, and he recognized them. So you understand that verse. Come to وَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ بِجَهَازِهِمْ قَالَ ائْتُونِي بِأَخٍ لَكُمْ مِنْهُ أَلَا تَرَوْنَ أَنِّي أُوفِي الْكَيْلَ وَأَنَا خَيْرُ الْمُنْزِلِينَ.
Translation of the meaning. And when he had provided them with their provisions, he said, bring...
That means provision. What did he have asked for? What they've asked for? They asked for food and all of that. Now,
he said, bring to me a brother of yours from your father. Do you not see how I give full measure and I am the best of the hosts?
Okay, go back now down to what?
However, and when he had provided them with their provisions, giving each of them one load of camel and not more than that, as he did with others according to the rules, he said, bring to me a brother of yours from your father.
So basically he had honored them more than he honored the other people who come to ask. Other people came from different origin, he gave them more. أَلَا تَرَوْنَ أَنِّي أُوفِي الْكَيْلَ وَأَنَا خَيْرُ الْمُنْزِلِينَ. Now,
he had already inquired about their family and their numbers.
So, because we said a number of times, the Quran does not speak about all of these tiny little details. You remember? So when the king sent him, he said straight away, Yusuf ayyuha as-Siddiq. He didn't mention the Quran, how did he come to the prison, how did he ask permission to go and speak to Yusuf. All of that is not important. So that's why there's a lot of abbreviation here. That is, he had have asked them as well how many brothers you were and what happened. They must have told him as well, there's a brother that was lost. Okay, they were 12 and one of them was lost, and now 11. We left one brother at home. Okay, so all of that's been asked and been talked about. Now, that's why he asked about the brother, because you can't just ask from the beginning, if you don't bring me your brother, how do you know about the brother? How did you know about the brother? So they must have told him. So he asked him a lot, and that's how he knew about it. And basically, when you honor a person, you could have a chit chat with him. You understand me? So they gave him a lot, and that's why they were feeling relaxed to open what they've got to him and to tell him about their situation. Now,
so they had told him that there were 12 brothers, and one of them had disappeared, and his brother is left at home. So Yusuf asked them to bring him when they come next year for more food.
Go on. Translation, interpretation. There's no interpretation?
Next bit is for the next.
Really?
He said, do you not see how I give full measure and I am the best of hosts?
No.
But if you do not bring him to me, you shall have no provisions from me, nor shall you come near us. Yusuf tried both means of persuasion by emphasizing the fact that he had been a very good host to them and took special care of them, and also by delivering a threat that if they did not bring him next time, they will not have any food, neither they will be treated with respect and care as he did this time.
So basically he used targhib wa tarhib. What is targhib wa tarhib? Targhib is inciting. You tell the person, take sweetie. Okay. Tarhib is, I warn you. That's the tarhib. So he gave them, mashallah, more food than others. At the same time he warned them, if you don't bring your brother, the other brother, I will not give you anything when you come back next time. Now the question here, as you finish this, yeah. Question here, what is the reason, okay, that would be justified for him to ask for his brother? Well, he wants to know, his brother is safe or not. It's number one. Number two, he wants to plan. All of that is a plan. Yusuf is planning ahead. That is, all is going to be coming, that he's going to be bringing his brother, and then after that they're going to put the king's crown into the items of his brother with his brother's knowledge, and they're going to be declaring that they are thieves, and they're going to keep his brothers here, and then I can't give you anything until you bring what? Everybody, father and mother and everybody. So he's planning all of that. So it's a plan from the beginning. That's why. You could ask me a question, well, how did they justify him saying, well, we will not, saying that he will not, why do you want not to give us anything except we bring our brother? What's the justification? Okay? Well, there are lots of reasons. Reason number one, which is simple, I am the king, I want to ask whatever I want. You have no point. It's not you who asks the question, I ask the question. Because you are in need of me, I am not in need of you. I want your brother. And when you give me your brother, I will give you in what? More. Okay? So from his point of view, he wants to see how good his brother. Number two, he wants a plan. And from that point of view, why is he asking for the brother? Well, he's a king. They'll understand that. You say whatever he likes. So, now, he says to his soldiers, are you going to translate, yes?
No, before that, they told him that.
So, قالوا سنراود عنه أباه وإنا لفاعلون. Translate.
They said, we shall try to win him over from his father, and we will do it.
And translate the more interpretation.
So they promised that they will do their utmost to fulfill his wishes by bringing their brother to him next year, and said, we shall try to win him over from his father, and we will do it.
They're giving a hint to him that it is a difficult task. They could have just said, we bring him next year. He said, no, we will try to convince our father. We'll try, and that means they're laying a sort of here saying that if we didn't bring him, it's not us, it's our father. They're saying that and also وَإِنَّا لَفَاعِلُونَ. We will strive until we get it. Because he said to us, they're not going to give us anything until what? You bring your brother. That's it. That's a condition. So we will try our best. And they gave us well a hint that it is actually he is dear to his father. Dear to his father. Right. Now, وقال لفتيانه, yes? So, وقال لفتيانه جعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم لعلهم يرجعون. نعم.
And translation of the meaning, and Yusuf told his servants, put their money into their bags, that they may recognize it when they return to their family, so that they return.
It's not money, it's actually items, because it's item to swap with items. There was some money, and also at that time there was, we call it muqayada.
Merchandise?
Yeah, I give you a laptop, you give me, for example, kilo cucumber, for example. I'm just saying. Muqayyad, I give you something, give me something instead. I have metal and you have what? Dates. I give you metal, you give me dates. Muqayyad. Okay? Trade, yeah, trade exchange. Yeah, trade exchange. Whatever you want to call it. So it's not just the money, because it's بضاعة, it's like items as well. بضاعة. اجعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم. Now, why did he give it to them?
Yusuf then commanded his servants that when they pack up their share of load, they should return the items which they had brought to buy their food and put it back in their load secretly. There are several explanations for this action. Some said that he feared that they probably may not have enough to come back next year.
That's a very important reason. Maybe next year it will not be the reason for them not to come because they couldn't convince their father about their brother. It's because of they didn't have what? Item to go and swap for the rice and the corn, the wheat that they want, the salmon. So they can't have something to swap with. So he gave them that and also.
So they returned it. And other opinion says that he felt disgusted to take the items from his brothers for their food.
And remember, it's not just his brothers. He had the items which belong to his father as well. It's his father's items as well. Father's items, brother. It's a family item. How could he take for that? Discuss it. We could also add more important reasons to this, why he gave them this, which is a very important, to give a trust action for their father. When the father sees this, he will be feeling relaxed for this king, for him. This guy is giving them the money. Okay? So it is a token trust, you could say, to the king, to the father of his, and token trust for his brothers. His brother now look, he's not even taking money, he's not taking anything in exchange for what he had given us. That shows us how truthful this person is, and how genuine this person is, and how generous. من المحسنين ألا ترون أني أوفي الكيل وأنا خير. So he's the best. He's the best muhsinin. That means he's the kind person. Now, when they come back, فلما, yes, we're finished.
Yes, there's a third opinion suggests that he wanted them.
That's what you finished. Go on.
So if they had enough food and did not want to come, they would probably come to return the money or the items.
خلاص, finished?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Come to now the ayah after that. فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبا. You're putting here a title, it says Benjamin, which is his brother, meets Yusuf, okay. Binyamin, yeah, well, yes, Binyamin meets Yusuf عليه السلام. طيب. فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل فأرسل معنا أخانا نكتل وإنا له لحافظون. نعم.
So when they returned to their father, they said, "Our father, the provision is denied to us, so send our brother with us, that we may get the provision. Surely we will take care of him."
Okay, go down to this.
What happened when they returned home and met their father? These verses give some account of those events. They said to their father that they will be deprived of any provision next year unless they took their brother with them to Egypt. If they did not take him with them, there will be no point in going there. And when they opened their bags...
That's it. Yeah, right. Now, if you notice here, these are the same words they said to their father when they took Yusuf alayhi salam. The same word. فَأَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا أَخَانَا نَرْتَعْ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Same words. Just send us with your brothers, and trust us, okay? أَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا أَخَانَا. So now they say to the father, basically, we are not going to be having any items, any food next time, unless you send our brother, your son, with us, and we will keep him. We will look after him. حافظون. We will protect him. قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين. فضل.
He said, "Should I entrust him to you as I entrusted his brother to you before? But Allah is the best of guardians, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy."
How can I trust you? You're saying to me the same words you said to me regarding Yusuf. How can I trust you about about this, just like I had trusted you with his brother and you failed. And you came to me with a shirt that was just torn off and you said this is the wolf and the blood and all of that. He didn't buy that. Yaqub didn't buy that. You pull the shirt and the shirt they forgot, you remember, to put holes into it. Okay. So, how can I trust you with that? Now, something is going to happen. وَلَمَّا فَتَحُوا مَتَاعَهُمْ وَجَدُوا بِضَاعَتَهُمْ رُدَّتْ إِلَيْهِمْ قالوا يا أبانا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا ونمير أهلنا ونحفظ أخانا ونزداد كيل بعير ذلك كيل يسير. نعم.
And when they opened their bags, they discovered that their money, the items, have been returned to them. And they said, Our Father, what more can we desire? Our items have been returned to us, so we shall get more food for our family. We shall take care of our brother, and we will obtain one extra camel load that will be an
That's
easy
the camel
provision.
load of his brother. Instead of 10 camel, it'll be 11 camel coming back. Now, and that is what? Very easy. Go on.
So it was in interpretation after that.
Go on.
Verses are finished, yeah. When they opened their bags, they discovered that their merchandise had been returned to them. They said, Our Father, what more can we desire? We had our food and we had our merchandise returned to us. We do not see any reason why we should not go there with our brother. Our merchandise has been returned to us, so we shall get more food for our family. We shall take care of your brother, and we will obtain one extra camel load. That will be an easy provision.
قال لن أرسله معكم حتى تؤتوني موثقا من الله لتأتونني به إلا أن يحاط بكم فلما آتوه موثقهم قال الله على ما نقول وكيل. نعم.
He said, I shall never send him.
يعقوب.
نعم. I shall never send him with you unless you give me a pledge in Allah's name that you shall surely bring him back to me unless you are rendered helpless. And when they had made their pledge, he said, Allah is the guardian and witness over all we say.
Okay. Translation, more repetition.
After the disappearance of Yusuf, Yaqub a.s. did not let Binyamin go out with any of his brothers anywhere. He smelt Yusuf in him and comforted himself for Yusuf. He became more precious to him, and that is why he said to them that I shall never send him with you unless you give me a pledge in Allah's name that you shall surely bring him back to me unless you are rendered helpless, that you may become for some reason helpless to bring him back. In that case, you will not be blamed. And when they had made their pledge, he said, Allah is the guardian and witness over all we say.
Finished? Yes? The question is, why did Yaqub alayhi salam change his mind? At the beginning he said, I'm not going to send him. And now, he said, I will not send him until you give me your pledge. When they gave him the pledge, that means we will, by Allah, bring him back and we will protect him. He said, okay, Allah Azza wa Jalla is wakil upon what we say. So, why is Yusuf Yaqub alayhi salam, after he had seen what his sons had done to Yusuf alayhi salam, he's going to trust now the little brother, Binyamin, the last one, to go with them. There's a number of answers for this. Answer number one is that people change. These brothers, they're not the same thing as the brothers at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam. So they change. So they're not going to be saying as they were doing conspiracy and plotting and all of that. They have. So Yusuf Yaqub alayhi salam, he had seen from them some righteousness. They've changed. And look how righteous they are. They went all the way to Egypt to bring food to him, to his family, to Yaqub alayhi salam, to their mother. So they are righteous sons. They only had some jealousy regarding whom? Yusuf. Second reason is that Yaqub alayhi salam knows that he did not give the same love to the brother of Yusuf as much as he gave to whom? To Yusuf. So he's not worried about the brother of Yusuf. He was worried about Yusuf. Yusuf, he was basically seen that vision, and that vision made him a prophet. Straight away he knew that this vision was going to give him a person who was going to be envied for that. So, where the case of the brother of Yusuf is not the same. So that's why Yaqub alayhi salam had also felt safe regarding it. The third thing is that the items which is being sent back, remember what Yusuf has been planning. So the items, which is the money and all of that, being sent back with his brothers, made assurance that, that he had seen the items with his own eyes, and the sons of his are truthful, saying, look, our money came back, we got, mashallah, not just normal food, but even extra, for the sake of nothing, no money. So that gives him an assurance that they are truthful. And he's truthful about his sons and truthful about this king who is giving them that food. So all of that made more assurance for Yaqub alayhi salam to go ahead and give the brother of Yusuf, Binyamin, to them. But at the same time, he had warned them. So he said to them, قال وقال يا بني لا تدخلوا من باب واحد ودخلوا من أبواب متفرقة وما أغني عنكم من الله من شيء إن الحكم إلا لله عليه توكلت وعليه فليتوكل المتوكلون. نعم.
And he said, O my sons, do not enter together by one gate, but enter by separate gates. And I cannot save you from the will of Allah. Truly, decision lies only with Allah. In Him I put my trust. And let all put their trust in Him only.
Interpretation.
So Yaqub alayhi salam took firm and sincere pledge and covenant from his sons. And he was very anxious about his son. However, no precaution can ever avail from the divine decree. Had there not been any severe need for provision, Yaqub alayhi salam would not have sent his son. However, it is the will of Lord which prevails and rules, and He does.
We could add that as a reason, as that he had to give the son because there is a very strong need for the food. Because he said there will be no food until you send your brother. So because of there's a very big need, he had to send her. That's another reason as well you could add to the reason that we have mentioned before. Now,
then Yaqub alayhi salam ordered his sons not to enter the city through one gate, but rather they should divide themselves and enter it through its different gates. There are different explanations for that by exegetes. In one opinion, it is suggested that because Yaqub's sons were handsome and of good appearance, so he asked them to enter it through separate gates as to escape the evil eye. Another opinion says that he wanted them to look for Yusuf or get any news from people. However, the first opinion seemed to be stronger because the verse said, and I cannot save you from the will of Allah.
so basically, why Yaqub alayhi salam had said to his sons, when you come into the city, you don't come in one gate, you come from different gates. That means you divide yourself into many gates. And he can mention two reasons, but the correct one is the first one, which is from the evil eye. That's the correct one. From the evil eye. And the evil eye is haqq, as the Prophet ﷺ had said. Talking about the evil eye is going to take another class in itself, but let me just remind you of what happened in the hadith of between two companions, and that is Sahl ibn Hanif and Amir ibn Rabi'ah, where they were together and they went to a waterfall. It's called al-Kharar, not far away from Medina. And Sahl, he was so beautiful. He was even labeled as to be the Yusuf of the Sahaba. The beautiful Sahaba, the Yusuf of Sahaba. As soon as he took off his clothes to get washed, Amr straight away looked at him and he said, wow, وَلَا جِلْدَ مُخَبَّى. Not even the skin of a woman who'd never seen the sunlight. Not even his skin is better and much softer and whiter than the skin of a woman who'd never seen the sunlight. She didn't come out her house. Okay? وَلَا جِلْدَ مُخَبَّى مَا رَأَيْتُكَ. I've never seen like this. These words, they're not being said with the intention of envy. He loves his friend. But when he said them without the word that would disinfect the envy, which is what? MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, Mubarak, Allah, all these words, Allahumma barik. So without these words, those words will kill. The evil eye will take place. So the eye, it will be like a laser light. And the shaitan is there with it. Shaitan is there with it. And the evil eye will take place straight away. So what happened to Sahel? Labit. Meaning he went down on the ground and like wobbling. Wobbling means what? He's about to die. It's serious. So some of the companions were there and they heard what Amr had said. So they went to the Prophet. He said, Adrik Sahel, Messenger of Allah, come and rescue Sahel. Do something. So the Prophet, he came and he looked. He said, Man tattahimun? Whom do you accuse? It's like a murder now. Who do you accuse? He said, Amr. Accuse Amr. He didn't put a knife in his neck, but he said these words, so that it's known for the companions that these words kill. It's known for the companions that the evil eye. Because if you don't know anything about that, how can you just use this word to be what we think is the words that killed him? So it's already known. And the evil eye is also known to the kuffar before Islam. وَيَكَادَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَيُزْلِقُونَكَ بِأَبْصَارِهِمْ. Prophet of Allah was having an evil eye from the kuffar. Okay? So they will know the evil eye. If you ask them, these people, they say, touch wood. Huh? Touch wood. You keep touching wood, but nothing happens. That's shirk, by the way. Touch wood and whatever. And the Muslims, they do worse. When they put the eye, 500 lashes, Ayn al-Hasud, La Tasud, words like this, the blue beads, a hand with 5 fingers. Have you seen that?
Hands of Fatima.
Hands of Fatima, yeah, hands of Shia. This is an extra flavor. Okay, for the hand for protector from the evil eye. All of the rubbish, shirk. So who do you accuse? A finger crossed, yeah, something else. Not evil eye. This is hope, wish, something evil eye. Anyway, who do you? He said these words. He said, Prophet ﷺ straight away emphasized what they said. He said, why one of you want to kill his brother? But he didn't lock him up. He didn't punch him. But he had said harsh words to him to teach him. Why somebody wants to kill his brother? That means you will not kill your brother. And he was not intended to kill his brother. But the way you said it, he's going to kill your brother. ألا دعوت له بالبركة. Shouldn't you just said بركة? ألا بركت. Barak, Allahumma barik. No problem, MashaAllah. Even some of the dua they said, MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Anything with to do Allah. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah, Tabarakallah, Allahumma barik. All of these words. So you just mention Allah Azza wa Jal. It will cool down the situation, there will be no evil eye. Then he said to him, and he called for water, and he said to him, Ightasil, have a wash. And this is why when somebody has told somebody to have ihtisam, you should not hesitate to do that ghusl. So I've said to you, some brother, can have a ghusl for me, please. Don't say, why do you accuse me of having an evil eye on you? Maybe you said some words you didn't know. Okay. Wallahi, subhanallah, some people say something and you tell them, say MashaAllah. Yeah, you didn't say MashaAllah. You say MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Well, even if you tell them say MashaAllah, it could be too late. So you said MashaAllah, but it's already, I got you. So you tell them say MashaAllah, they don't say it. Ya I don't mean it, but say MashaAllah, Ya Habib, Allah barik. If you said your adhkar, inshallah you're okay. Okay? Bismillah alladhi la dhurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening, inshallah you'll be protected. Okay? So what happened is that brought him water, he said, Ightasil. So he made wudu, and even in the pot, in the bucket, everything, in the bucket. So whatever comes from his limbs, in the bucket. Okay, so it comes from his body. And then dakhilata izari. It's got a different word, is dakhilata izari. Is it that he put water in his private part? Or does he just get the cloth which is touched his private part and he soaks it in the water? You understand? It's either that he washes his private parts and the wash comes into that pot, or is it the cloth itself? Okay, we'll put it into that bucket which he touches is inside. Both is correct. And then Prophet he put it from his back onto his head. As soon as he put it, he got up just like nothing happened to him. Instant cure. As I said, if I want to talk about this, it's going to take a long time. So let's just finish these verses that we have said. So we believe it is the evil eye. Wallahu a'lam. That's why he told them to go from different gates. He didn't go tell them because of that he wanted them to go and look for Yusuf alayhi salam. طيب. ولما دخلوا من حيث أمرهم أبوهم ما كان يغني عنهم من الله من شيء إلا حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها وإنه لذو علم لما علمناه ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلم. نعم.
And when they entered in the way their father had asked them, it did not save them from the will of Allah, but it only served to satisfy a desire in Yaqub's heart. Indeed, he possessed knowledge as we had taught him, but most people do not know. People of the book say Yaqub sent with his sons some gifts for the minister, which contained some pistachio, nuts, almonds, spices, myrrh.
He must have been shopping in Asda.
And some honey, balm. And they also took...
we don't say belie or we don't really confirm. Basically, I mean, we don't know these things, pistachios and all of that.
And there's famine.
What type of pistachio?
No, but there's famine going on, but there's all these expensive food items.
Yeah, that's another thing that cannot be. How can it be true that these people are in need of wheat and all of that, and they're sending pistachios? No.
Honey. They also took double the amount of silver, so they could return the previous one, which was put back in their sacks. Bible Genesis.
All of that you could put a circle around it. Is a question mark. Now, خلاص. Stop here, inshallah. And وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُف. Is that what that? Going to be stopping. Yes, inshallah. طيب. If you have any questions regarding what we've heard, please, jazakallah khairan, go ahead. And let's start with the questions. تفضل.
When a non-Muslim praises a Muslim, how can we say them to say MashaAllah?
When a Muslim,
Non-Muslim praises a Muslim.
when a non-Muslim, you mean for the evil eye, you mean something?
Yeah.
When a non-Muslim praises, so you're asking me that if a non-Muslim said something which is good about the Muslim.
Yeah.
You know, I thought you said something good about the Muslims. I didn't hear this. These guys, Yarhamukallah. That's so cool. Subhanallah, coincidence. So if a Muslim had something good and a disbeliever said to him, wow, your car is good. Wow, you're fast. Wow. So how can I ask him to say, well, first of all, I'm not going to ask him to touch wood. Shirk. But your adhkar will help, number one. And number two, you would say to him, use that as a da'wah. In Islam, when we say these things, we believe those things would say effect unless we mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. Whether he mentions Allah's name or not, it does not make a difference. Okay? It does not make a difference. Because you are protected by the Islam, by your adhkar. So if you said to him, say MashaAllah, it's better to say to him, say La ilaha illallah. Make him embrace Islam. Okay? So say La ilaha illallah in order for you to say MashaAllah to me. No. Wallahu a'lam. طيب. تفضل.
Can you say it on behalf of the person to yourself? So if the person praised you, praised something about you, but you forgot to say MashaAllah or Allah Mubarakah, can you say it on behalf of him so it protects you?
No, it doesn't work. So basically the person, he said something to you, admiring something, and he did not say MashaAllah, and you said MashaAllah. No, it doesn't work. It has to be him saying MashaAllah. That word to this effect is words. Very good question. MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Overpraising yourself, that has the same evil eye effect on yourself.
Huh?
When you overpraise yourself.
Yeah, you could have an evil on yourself straight away. They was mentioning, as I said, the evil eye is a class on its own. Somebody looking at his mirror and he said, "Wow, beautiful face." Following day he was burnt. Person I know that the Sheikh, he said, he looked at his kids, one is jumping and he's one another, very strong. Wow, you're jumping like monkeys, strong. Following day, one is broken arm, second one is ill, third one has got fever, fourth one is got. So he has an evil eye on his. And we say in Arabic, "Ma hasad al-mal illa sahib." No one would envy the money except the owner of it. The owner of his own money is the one who envies his own money. Look at my money, look how much I get. One person, he said, "You know, I've got money, if you set fire to it, it will take time to burn." Allah had these words. He said, "I've got money, if you set fire to it, it will take time to burn." Yet when it comes to giving to the masjid, he gives only 5, 3, 4 pounds. Sometimes you put the bucket, you hear the coin, tack, tack. And he's got money that needs time to be burnt. Wallah, he said that to me. Allah, you can't forget. So imagine how much money he's got. MashaAllah, tabarakallah.
So it's like, just on point, you just said no. I read somewhere where, the person who made the Titanic, the engineer, where he said, someone asked him, "Will this ship ever break?" He said, "No, it'll never break."
Never break.
Even God
It will never sink.
Even
It
God
will
can't.
never sink. It's unsinkable.
It's never sink, and you know what happened to Titanic.
Unsinkable.
Is that what it said?
No, he quoted, he
Is that
said
the
that
quote?
even God can't sink it.
Yeah.
He said
that's
even God can't sink it. The quote,
Where did you get this
the
from?
engineer,
The movie or something?
No, the engineer.
no, the engineer wrote a book about how he constructed it.
Even God.
He said, so in the end, he basically gave a detailed account of how he engineered all of it, how it was all made and manufactured and everything. And then in the end, he said that even God would not be able to sink this boat. And it's
That's kufr, of course. It's not just envy. It's kufr. Shirk billah azza wa jalla. That's kafir. There's a person who said that he got the formula for you to live longer. And yeah, and he challenges it. He's not going to die, and he died in his 50s. Google him. He's a well-known person. And he died. He challenges himself, and he made an embryo himself. I'm not going to die.
They said the same thing about Bruce Lee, because his diet and the way he trained. They said that he would live over 100 and he died at 30. I think.
Yeah, but Bruce Lee. There's a lot of conspiracy regarding his death. It could be drugs. It could be that he said envy.
Poisoned.
Could be poisoned.
Killed him off.
They killed him off because he was famous. Yeah,
Still died.
lots of things. Lots of things. Further.
So how can we protect our younger brothers and sisters?
How can you protect? The protection of the brothers and sisters is a number of things.
Babies.
Number one, akhi, the evil eye is haqq. Al-aynu haqq. The eye is haqq. But at the same time, the adhkar is haqq. Same thing. The power is the adhkar. So this is dhikr of Allah. It makes a fortress on you. So when the person comes out from his house, regarding his children, and he knows that he's going, for example, to the school, he put his hand on their head and he says, أعيذك بكلمات الله التامة من كل شيطان وهام ومن كل عين لامة. خلاص. Put tawakkul upon nothing more. And that child, if he knows to say the dua, teach your children every morning, salah, before they sleep, when they do the fajr, teach them to say the adhkar, all of them. Adhkar sabah, adhkar nasa. And they will start even challenging you, which one is faster, is it adhkar? And if you forget, they come, adhkar, they tell you off. Yeah, I'm going to say adhkar. So if you teach them, inshallah, they will be protected, and don't be worried. Don't be worried. Prophet ﷺ, he had the most evil eye on him. Most evil eye, big eye, evil eye from the kuffar. Protected, alhamdulillah, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, adhkar. So you don't have to worry. So we don't want, for example, I'm going to lock up my children I'm scared of the evil eye. Okay, I'm not going to dress them anything good. I'm going to make them rot and dirty clothes. Huh? I can't say with holes, because the fashion today is dressing with holes. Before with holes means like rubbish, but now with holes is the fashion. I don't lock them up because of that. Trouble. Even somebody, wallahi, doesn't make his son to recite in front of everyone because half of a nice voice, evil eye. What is the evil eye? Quran is God in his chest. Quran is protected. He's going too far now. So we're going to make him half for what? Half for you? Half for whom? To show that he has, he uses hifz. Now, further.
What is evil eye?
What is evil eye? Evil eye, basically, the eye itself, and the evil, is the evil. When you put the evil of the eye, that means when the person looks at another person with intention of harming that person. So you see a person who's got a nice car. You look with an eye of the car like this. Oh, I wish that car had to be crashed. Why is this person's got a car like this and I haven't? How did he get the money to buy such a car? Okay? You might even as well go and carry some nail or key or something, scratch the whole car just to make you feel relaxed. Okay? So this evil eye, basically, when the person says these words, shaitan is present. Iblis is present. And that eye, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made it, one of the reasons it would affect. Prophet said, al-aynu haqq, the eye is true. Also the Prophet said, inna al-ayna la tudkhiru al-jamal al-qidra wa al-rajul al-qabra. The eye will make the person to enter the grave and to die, and to make the camel to be cooked, meaning the camel will be, mashallah, somebody said, he's got very strong camel, that camel will be killed, he will be cooked because of his evil eye. Prophet ﷺ said, أكثر ما يموت من أمتي من العين. Most of the people die from my ummah from the evil eye. Most of the people in my ummah who die, they die from the evil eye. Yes, you could see cancer, you could see, but for example, whatever reason, the parent, but it could be triggered because of the evil eye. So the evil eye is basically the person who wishes that whatever the person has got in his possession to be transferred to him, that's one, or to be at least vanished, okay, taken away from him, as long as he hasn't got it. So this person, the one wishes he wants that car to be his. That's one level, which is less evil than the one who wants, as long as he hasn't got it, I'm happy. Okay, that's even worse. So that's an evil eye, which is that some people proves to be more effective than others. Some of them, they see you, that's it, you've had it. And those people will be locked up. In Islamic State, it has been proved that this person has got an evil eye, he will be locked up in prison and he will be given five-star prison, but he will not be going away to see other people because he might affect them. In the history of Islam, it took place. This incident took place. We know a person that used to eat like this. Used to have a servant for him, and he used to have a tent. When the cattle comes, a sheep, or he looks from the tent and he says, wow, 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 and the sheep start falling. So his servant will go and get this meat for free, because once this sheep is about to die, the shepherd will slaughter it, and they will give the meat just for free. Okay, so he start, go and take the saucepan and bring us the meat. That's how it was. I remember myself when I went to a person whom, Sheikh mashallah and everything, as in Sheikh hasn't got beard and everything, he said to me bluntly, don't show me things that which is good for you. I've got a very hot eye. Wallahi, he said that to me. Aini harra. He's trying to warn me against his own eye. Aini harra. Don't show me good things about you. So he knows himself that he's been proved that, and he's a musalli 5 times a day, and mashallah upon the salaf manhaj, and mashallah. I feel my eyes hot here, Okay. Now, brothers.
What's the difference between al-ayn and hasad?
Okay. What is the difference between ayn and hasad? Every ayn is hasad, but not every hasad is ayn. The envy could be done not through the eye. I could be talking about you without seeing you. The envy. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. So the hasad is more wider than the eye. The eye just when you see. Okay? You see. But hasad, I could hear about this person and say, wow, how did he do it? And that hasad. But the eye is more powerful. So this is evil eye plus hasad. Okay? And the shaitan is always present when the evil eye takes place. Always. He could be not present in other cases, but in the evil eye 100% he's there. He's present. Scholars describe it as there will be like a jawahir, like laser light coming from the eye and all of that. Allahu a'lam. But it is powerful. Now, Allah, one of the scholars, he said, his father is a sheikh, Sheikh Abdul Razzaq al-Badr, Hafidhahullah. This is his story. He says that I can't remember, is his father, Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, or somebody else, that he brought, not his father, somebody, is a friend of his father or something like this, that he went to the market where they sell sheep, okay? So, and he came with a bunch of sheep to sell, and his sheep was selling like this, very quick. Whereas the other person who's opposite to him, who's got his, pickup, with the load of sheep, he didn't sell that much. Maybe one or he didn't sell anything. So this guy is speaking to that other guy, who has sold lots of sheep, and this is a real story, high isnad, I'm doing high chain now. High chain. He says to him, where do you want it? In the tires or in the machine, in the engine? You understand what I'm saying? Another bit. Where do you want the evil eye to strike you? Do you want it in the tires or do you want it in the engine? He said, fear Allah. He said, okay, the tires. As soon as he went, boom, 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 the tires. How quick is this, powerful, this man? We need him against our enemies, The weapon. What do you want, the engine or the tires? Which one do you want? He's giving him a choice. He said, fear Allah. He said, come on, the tires. The engines maybe is too expensive for you. He's got an evil eye. He said, Wallah ya akhi. Allah al-Ali al-Azim. I've seen it with my own eyes. Some people go so powerful. As soon as I see that, I've seen this, I'm just worried. What am I to do? I said my adhkar, but I'm worried. I'm really worried. Okay? And then something happened, but last minute saves me. And I said, oh, alhamdulillah, I got away with it. And the evil eye did not touch me that much. Alhamdulillah, it didn't really kill me. Just a bit like this, alhamdulillah. Tafadhal.
The evil eye, Sheikh, is it common amongst family?
Oh yes, common. It's like inherited as well. It's inherited, and plus they master it. They master it. It's like magic. The evil eye will have the shaitan guaranteed, but not the magic will not have the shaitan guaranteed. Look at that. And that's why most of my ummah die from whom? Evil eye. Not from magic. Shaitan is present. وَسُبْحَانَكَ اللَّهُ بِحَمْدِكَ أَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنتَ